Voice work, audiobooks do you do?
Well, there's a company called Buzzy Multimedia, and I narrated a couple of books for them, Dragon Bones and Dragon Blood. And I grew up reading fantasy novels, you know, Margaret Weiss, Tracy Hickman. You know, I was a big sci-fi fantasy reader as a kid. I read, you know, Stephen King. I read Anne Rice books. Who I got to meet this year because she wrote a werewolf book, and so I went and surprised her at her signing in LA. She's a huge fan of True Blood. She loves it, so that was really exciting. And then also too, a lot of my friends are musicians and bands, so they'll let me come in and sing backup on their songs or do spoken word on their albums and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun.
Have you had a chance to meet anybody who you really wanted to meet at this con or any of the other cons you've been to?
Well, this con in particular, you know, Alice Cooper came up to me and told me what a huge fan he is of True Blood, and I was like, jeez, you know, I mean, that stuff blows my mind when, you know, they come up to you. You know, I mean, the other side of it is that, you know, we're getting ready for football season, and all the Steelers are obsessed with True Blood. Obsessed, you know, so it's like, I got a text from Ben Roethlisberger saying, "What's up with the old dude kicking your ass, bro?" You know? And I'm like, just wait, there's 2 more episodes, you know. So, you know, it's funny, like all those dudes, they love the show. It's just amazing to me how far this show reaches, and how, you know, geeked out I am to be in the same room as Chris Rock. But Chris Rock is like pushing people out of the way to come up to me and be like, "Dude, I love your show." You know, like, stop doing that. You're Chris Rock. You know, like, you know. So that's, I mean, I think it's just amazing being a part of a show that reaches that far and that people are this excited about. I mean, come on, this is like, I mean, I was on shows for the past 10 years. I had to beg people to watch. You know, it's like my mother and nobody else.
We'll take questions from the audience. Sheila.
We have our sound.
Okay, Carol, is your mic on? No, okay. Well, while we're waiting, something...
What is with the mics? Theater voices.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go. Very quiet.
Is it on yet? Okay.
You're only 20 yards away. We can probably.
Yeah.
We'll repeat the question, so
Yeah.
go ahead. No?
So, obviously season 5 is a vast departure from the books. What do you think the chances are that we're going to get back to Charlotte Harris's plot lines? Because obviously, I mean, Lafayette's dead in the books, which we don't agree with. Sam never met Luna, hooked up with her. Arlene betrayed Sookie, and, you know, Sookie never puked on Alcide's shoes, so...
Well, I hope I never joined the Fellowship of the Sun and tried to kill Sookie, which I guess is what happens in the books. I stopped reading them. I read the first 3 or 4 maybe, and I loved them. But I started to, you know, see that our show was going to take a different interpretation of the books, and I sort of transferred I made that our show the authority on the characters, and I was glad I did, because, you know, Terry and Arlene don't hook up in the books, and that's obviously one of the best things about what I get to do on the show is have that relationship with him. I don't know if they're going to get back to the books. I don't know.
Well, I read 7, and the books are heavily Sookie-centered, and our show is much more of an ensemble type deal. We have 8 plot lines.
Minimum.
I mean, our cast rival Ben-Hur. So You know, and the reality is for TV, and so Anna is not working 7 days a week. We have to sort of mix it up. So I think that, and you know, the writers take their liberties. So who knows if we're gonna go back. I mean, we're still in the same world of the books. I mean, they just taking bits and pieces from, like, and it's all out of order. It's all out of order, and they're taking bits and pieces from book 6, bits and pieces from book 4, and just throwing all that shit in there.
Well, and I think the beauty of the series is, you know, that, you know, they've established, they've kept the audience guessing. They've established that you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what's going to show up. And you can read the books, but the show's going to be a completely different experience, and that's similar but different in that they're going to look and say, okay, we've got this genius, phenomenal, unbelievable actor in season 1, like, we're not going to kill him. We're going to let him stick around. Anybody who wants to shake their finger and say, well, that doesn't happen in the book. I mean, come on, like, who doesn't want him to stick around? And from that moment on, you know, as the audience, you don't know what's happening next. So now, what they do is now it's almost like a little game of, like S&M, they got the chain around there dragging you around on the couch in the living room, and you know, it's like you don't know what's going to happen next. And I think that's the beauty of the show, is that it keeps you guessing. You don't know, and the great thing is once the show eventually wraps up, everybody's going to be able to go back and read those books and have a different experience than the shows. If you miss those characters, you'll be able to go back and read those books and kind of revisit them and have this fun experience that's actually different from what you just watched. So I think it's actually like a service.
Plus, it would be boring if they followed the books, because you all would know exactly what's going to happen.
Carol.
Hi, my question's for Nelsan. You're my favorite, I love you. I had read an article that you were saying that it took you about a few episodes in before you were really into the character that you felt was Lafayette. What did you do to get fully into character? What motivated you, or what did you have to do to feel like you were 100% connected?
I actually just act like my mother. I had 4 auditions, and my 3rd audition was awful. The casting director called my agent and was like, "Oh, he was just terrible. He was terrible." Yeah, that's what she said. And she said the only reason why I was getting called back for the 4th was because Alan was calling everybody back. And so I got with my acting coach, and she's like, you have to find, you know, the femininity inside you that comes off as real, and the masculinity and all that. And my mother is a tomboy, or was a tomboy. So I was like, well, I've been mimicking my mama all my life. What is it?
Oh, I love him. I'm gonna go.
So no, I literally sort of connect to Peaches. Peaches Ellis of Bessemer, Alabama. And that's where Lafayette comes from. And I have 5 sisters, so I pull things from this comes from my youngest sister, this whole thing right here. And she watched and she's like, did you take that from me? I said, yeah, I did. Are you gonna pay me? Yeah. Hell no, girl. my mama.
I was wondering, like, I started watching True Blood during season 4, and it was about the witches, and season 5 was about the blood of Lilith or something. But what is the next storyline for season 6?
We don't know. I mean, do you guys know?
Billith. It's going to be about Billith. Honestly, we don't know. They don't let us know, and some of the storylines were kind of wrapped up this year, and some were obviously left in a big cliffhanger, and we're excited to find out. You know, we always get excited. I know I do. You know, like the month before we're getting ready to start shooting, and we get that first, you know, draft of the first episode, and you know, just greedily read it. You know, trying to glean what's going to happen and where your character's going to go, and it's pretty thrilling, you know, that, I mean, I'm kind of a fangirl about the show I'm on, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, we have amazing writers, and also Alan Ball is stepping away, sadly. Daddy's going, you know, to hang out with the other kids, and there's going to be a new showrunner, so it'll be interesting, too. He was one of our writers. He was promoted from the writers' pool, but it'll be interesting to see if that has any impact on the storylines coming up.
Carol.
Hello, I love you, Lafayette. My question is for the full panel. What is your favorite season and why?
Who's that for?
What's your favorite season and why?
Season 1, because we were all in the same show. Now sometimes I don't even see Sam or Carrie or Joe.
I wasn't around season 1, so.
Well, I mean, but you know, the show was slimmed down to where we worked together. I don't work with them really anymore, and I miss that. I miss working with Regina. I miss working with. So I think we had like 30-second spurts of working together.
I know.
Me and Carrie had like 30-second spurts.
Yeah, but we got to do those Cajun margaritas.
Well, that was fun. Dropped it like it was hot. So I would say season 1 because we at least worked together.
That was season 1. Your stuff in season 1 was some of my favorite stuff that you've done. Like just your whole thing in season 1, and also the storyline with the V was so good. I was really into that.
I was too.
But you know, it is interesting, you know, if you think about our show, because every season is so different. It is almost like a different show every year, and I think that's pretty impressive. I mean, I guess there's downsides and upsides, but I think the writers really always look to surprise everybody and keep it fresh, and it's so hard to do that. And I think they're doing a pretty damn good job, you know. Because season 1 was one of my favorites too. But if we had just kept sort of in town all the time, we never would have. There's so much stuff we wouldn't have gotten. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just, you know, and they're going to try to do that again in next year. It's such a you know, a tough thing that they do every year, trying to outdo themselves. But who knows? Who knows what next year will bring?
Yeah, and I think that's why it's probably tricky to pick like a season, because like you get different storylines and different permutations of cast matchups in each one, you know. My first season was pretty much with Anna the whole time, you know, which was great. But then season 4 comes around, and then, you know, it's like the Sam and Alcide cop show.
Oh yeah. You know, that's right, Starsky and Hutch.
Cops.
We gotta get back into it. We gotta go on another
We gotta bro
mission.
out.
We need a mission.
Yeah, we need to bro out.
Yeah. We had Joe and I had a great scene. I mean, the scenes get cut because of the length of the show and rhythm and everything, but we had a great scene. This year that got cut, I was so bummed.
It was just us getting wasted.
It was us. Like, I was serving him tequila shots at the bar, and I was doing tequila shots, and we were just talking about women and how crazy women are.
Drunk talking about our crazy chicks, you know? And it was like, man, like, what show are we on right now? Nobody's dying. This is great, you know? And then it got cut. And then it was like, there's no way they're putting this in the episode. But then, you know, it's like every year you get to do different stuff, and, you know, like, you know, Nelsan and I got to have it out a little bit. Episode 1, we got to do our thing.
I got a little upset with him in that scene. Because I walk up and I'm supposed to push his ass. But he wouldn't move. Now work with me. You're supposed to move. I am not supposed to push somebody and then like almost fall.
That was in character. He's a big ass werewolf.
I know, but Jesus. It's a little bit embarrassing on set when you like, and I got momentum. I'm running down the fucking stairs. And then I'm stumbling. Dude, I'm a grown-ass man. Help me out.
Alcide's supposed to be like twice as strong as I am, man. He's not supposed to move. But then it was fun getting to work with Carrie briefly this season, too, so that was fun.
Yeah, that scene when I first see that Tara is a vampire, and they, you know, the writers only gave me like a couple of, you know, patented Arlene, like, you know, and I thought, well, what am I going to do here? And I have never had a scene with this man, ever, and there he was standing there, and I was like, well, Arlene would run and get behind that. So we started laughing.
Sheila.
Hello. So there seemed to be an extra copious amount of red corn syrup the last few episodes. So what was your favorite vampire kill?
Favorite vampire kill?
Yeah, favorite vampire death.
Sam going inside of that box.
When I read that, I was like, yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. That was totally crazy. But yeah, they had the weirdest stuff that they made out of. I mean, they started painting me. I just went in naked, you know, as usual. And I was standing there in a sock. And there were these 3 guys that I've never met, and they had a bucket. You know, a couple buckets of blood, and they said, well, should we just, you know, how should we, just start putting it on me, just do it. So I'm just standing there, and there's these guys just with their, you know, just putting stuff on me. And I was literally completely covered, and I mean, as you saw. And they had this other weird gummy stuff that, somebody told me that it looked like I had an earring, like Luna's earring, but that was just brain matter. That was coming down. So like I got in a crouch and I had all that stuff on me, and then I just jumped up in the air, and it was awesome. I mean, it was just like a kid's fantasy just to be covered in blood and just go rah. It was awesome.
Carol.
It came off fairly quickly. There was a shower. There's actually a shower in that stage on the second floor.
Yeah.
That has really big water pressure, and it came off like within 5 minutes. All of it. It's crazy.
Hi, this question is for Nelsan. I like True Blood, but what did you think of your role in The Soloist?
My role in The Soloist? It was cool. It was cool. Yeah. I don't have no memories. As far as I shot it 3 years ago, but it was cool.
Did you play the cello in that?
I did not. I was David. I ran the homeless shelter. That wouldn't be Jamie Foxx you're talking about.
Oh, I gotta see that movie, man. I gotta check that movie out. I haven't seen it.
No, it's funny because I wasn't supposed to get that part. I got that part like on a whim. The director, when I first auditioned, the director was like, "You're too young." Well, he's English, Joe Wright. He's like, "You're too young, but come to the table read and read Jamie's part because he won't be at the table read." So I came to the table read and I read Jamie's part, and because the other actors didn't do shit, he was like, "Well, you're the only one who like put some effort into the table read, so take the part."
Cool.
Even though, you know, the person is 20 years older than I am. So, I don't know if y'all was interested in that story. I just told you.
Sheila.
Hello, this question is for Nelsan. I absolutely love what you've done with Lafayette's character, and I love how because he's a drug dealer and all this stuff, so ironically he's also the most honest character in the entire show, and therefore he has some of the best lines in the whole show. So I was wondering what your favorite line that Lafayette says is.
The bitch can burn. Which means I can cook, but I just love that fucking line because it can say so many things. A bitch can burn. And of course, hooker.
This is to go back to something you said earlier about how the writers don't follow the books as much. My question is, since you've been on the show for so long and you know these characters so well, do the writers ever ask you to do anything that you feel that maybe the characters as you played them wouldn't do? Do you get a lot of feedback to them about things that maybe you might change or you wouldn't want to do as that character?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, there's a scene in episode 8 this year that was written as the two of them go at it, and you can't tell which one is dominating each other. And I kind of went, you know what? This girl's about 90 pounds soaking wet, and if we're going at it, there's no way she's picking me up and throwing me into a wall. It's like, you can write that, but when it comes down to performance, I'm going to be picking her up, throwing her across the room, and that's how it's going to be. So.